Hi all, this is the very first time I am using Madam Glam gel. I am not new to at-home gel polish manicures, but I am very new to Madam Glam. I've seen them on Instagram before, but I've never given them a try. And when they reached out to me, I was overjoyed because they have a ton of beautiful colors. Today I'm going to demo these colors for you, talk about how they apply, and I will be showing you finished manicures. So right now I have the soak off base, the soak off top, I have Pretty Little Liar. This one is called Thunder. It's a cat eye polish, so I'm really excited to be sharing that one with you. And then I also have a Chameleon Gel. This is in color My Boo. It goes from a really pretty purple to blue. So I am going to do these swatch style, which means I will be wearing these two, with a peel off base coat just so that I can get through these in a reasonable amount of time. And then for the third one, I think I'm going to do this thermal, and I'm going to do it a full manicure, with top coat and base coat and proper wipe down and all of that. So I will show you that the proper gel technique from start to finish for my very last mani. So let's start off with this one. So before we get started, I should note that all Madam Glam polishes are vegan and cruelty-free. They are certified. You can see the cute little bunny right there. And they're also 9 free, which is pretty dang cool. Gel polish tends to have other, ingredients that aren't necessarily great. And so I really like seeing these evolve over the years. So we're going to kick this off by using Pretty Little Liar. This requires 30 seconds to cure, so I'm going to do that. Gel polish, when applied, should be done so that it is super thin, and you should always wrap your tips. So proper application, you always wipe off all of your brush. This may include wiping off the neck of the brush just to make sure you don't have excess formula on there. And then you should always wrap the tip of your nail for the longest wear. So I'm going to just lightly do that. I don't do it for too much because I don't want to overdo it, but it's important. And each gel is going to require a different application based on their formula. So always know less is more. This I had to actually go back in and grab a little bit of polish because it's a little on the thick side. But as a whole, it is very easy to work with. Let me double check that I didn't get anything on my sidewalls. If I did, I need to wipe it off now before I do my first cure. Okay, so here's one coat after curing. You'll notice how it looks good so far. It needs another coat for sure. The reason we wrap our tips, there are 2 reasons. One is to make sure your mani lasts all week, at least, sometimes up to 3 if you do well. The other one is to make sure that the gel doesn't shrink when you cure it. Some gels tend to do it more than others, some colors more than others, and so it's really important that you just take the brush along this edge and wipe a little bit. As everything, less is more with gels, so just barely get the edge. And I will do that for both coats. So I'm going to apply coat number 2 the exact same way I just applied the first coat. I'm going to thoroughly wipe my brush of all polish, or like 99%, and then I'm going to gently wipe the tip to make sure I get polish all the way around. Okay. Now I'm going to wipe off my brush again and proceed to add a second super thin coat. As you can see, it gets a little streaky, and that's because ultra thin is important, and I'd rather have streakiness right now that I can fix versus too much gel, which you can't cure. If it's too thick, it won't cure properly, and you won't be able to wear your mani as long. When applying, I like less is more, for the sake that it's easier to add a little bit of gel versus take it away. I just added a bit, and I'm going to let it self-level while I work on my other nails. Alright, so 2 coats was ideal for this. I really like how it came out. You'll notice I do have a little bit of a dent right there. That was my fault. That was a little bit thicker for the first coat, and so it didn't have time to self-level. I believe that if I were to top coat this right now, it would take out the dent, or it would fill it, and you wouldn't even know it was there. So this one is, yet again, Madame Glam Pretty Little Liar, and it's a really pretty kind of mauve, purpley gray. I really like this. It's a nice neutral color, very work appropriate, good for a lot of different situations. Next up, I have Madame Glam Thunder. This is a cat eye gel. I am very familiar with cat eye or magnetic polishes, as they're commonly called, but I've never done a cat eye style gel polish, so this will be a little bit of a learning experience for me. So we're going to start just like last time, as by wrapping the tip, and then I'm going to come back in with a thin coat of polish. And I'm going to be really careful to not get the sides, because that's how you get a nice long wear. So I'm going to use a magnet on this and see what happens. Hey, that's pretty cool. I like it. I'm wondering, just out of curiosity, maybe I'll try for a double stripe here. Oh, no, that didn't work. Okay, we're going to try this again. I may have confused the magnet here. Let's try this again. Okay, so lesson learned, do not try for multiples unless you have one of those fancy pants magnets. So we're gonna try this. Got a little bit of a line, not much. Not as good as the first time. So only do it once, don't do what I did. Okay, I wanted to show you really quickly before I cure this. There's a little bit of difference between the two. You can see this finger here, I used a little bit of the magnet. These I've not done yet. So I'm going to do them really quick to see. And I'm going to go back to do this one real fast. See if I can't pull that magnetic pigment up. Hey, there we go. That's back. Okay, we'll do this one. Cool. And then we'll do this one. Alright, and last one. Let's go this way. Okay, this is before curing. I will be right back in about 30 seconds as per bottle. Since I'm using an LED light, and we'll see how it goes. Alright, I am back. It is cured. You can see a little bit of the cat eye there. But we're going to go back and do another coat. I think coat number 2 is going to be the one that does it. Alright, same thing as before. I'm going to wipe off my brush really well, to the point where there's almost nothing left on it. I'm going to do a quick wrapping of the tip to make sure this doesn't pull back when it's cured. And then we'll come back in with just a smidge more polish for the nail. And this time I'm going to just wait to do the cat eye until I do all of my nails, so that I can do them all at once. It'll just save a little bit of time. Alright, so I'm back. This is coat number 2, and now I'm going to use the magnet really quickly It looks like it wasn't necessary to use it for coat number 1, so in the future, if you're using these, you don't need to magnetize your first coat of gel polish unless you think it's only going to need 1 coat. And like I said previously, do only use a magnet on each finger once because it produces the best look. Otherwise, if you move it around like I did, the magnetic pigment seems to get confused, or I don't know what you want to call it, but it's not as sharp. So I'm going to actually move the other fingers away that I've magnetized so I don't, oops and mess that up. Alright, so all 4 are ready. I'm going to cure these for 30 seconds and then I will be right back. I love these. These are really cool. I love how crisp they are. I'm going to bring the light in a little bit closer so you can see. But they are freaking great. They're very pretty. You didn't have to use the magnet if you didn't want to. Let me move everything and show you. This is what it looks like without the magnet. It's still very pretty. It's more of like a yellow and blue twinkly polish. But I like it both ways. So if I felt lazy, I would possibly, not do the magnet because it's a pretty polish on its own for sure. So this is Madam Glam Thunder. And it's a great one. I am impressed. I'm sold. Madam Glam is super fun. I have one more swatch for you, but I do want to tell you before I get into it, I'm sure you've heard that some gels can have fluctuations. Some people feel nail bed pain. Sometimes that's from overfiling. Other times it's because of how the polymers heat up and it makes people uncomfortable. Madam Glam doesn't have any of that. I didn't feel any pain using these during the curing process, and I'm working with a standard LED light. So as I mentioned before, I am going to do a full mani using only Madam Glam polishes. So we're going to start off with the Soak Off Base Gel. This one says to cure for 30 seconds, just like all of the other colors. So that's exactly what we're going to do. Okay, now I have my base on. I'm going to cure it for 30 seconds as instructed by the back of the bottle. So now it's time for step 2, which is applying my color. This is the, it's called a Chameleon Gel polish by Madam Glam. And it's a thermal color changing polish that goes from purple to blue. I'm going to give this a really good shake and then I'm going to apply it. Start off super thin because I don't want to have huge buildup along the edges of my fingertips. That will lead to improper curing, and so it's better to go thin coats. Even if it takes 3 coats, this is the ideal way to apply. And what this does is, in addition to extended wear time, better curing, all of that, it also generally reduces the occurrence of bubbles, which can happen when polish gets too thick. So I know this looks pretty thin, and it is, but this is exactly what you want for your first coat. Okay, this is super fun. While curing, my hands obviously changed temperature, and so the thermals started working. So I super love that. It definitely needs a second coat, but it's really fun to see it in action. It's far more reactive than any indie polish I've used so far. So let's get that second coat on and then I will cure it again. Same thing as before, I am wiping off my brush really well. I'm going to carefully go along the edge, but not too much. That's a lot of polish I just added there, so I'm going to smooth it out. So you never want to have a thick edge, that's a royal pain. Now I'm going to just take a tiny amount of polish and go back in for my second coat. And we're back with another coat. This one is fairly opaque. I may end up stopping here. Okay, so I decided to stop with 2 coats. So we're gonna do the Madame Glam Soak Off Top Coat. And then we'll cure that. This is also a 30-second top coat. So I will apply that and we'll cure it. And then all I have to do is wipe and we're done. Same thing as always, wipe off almost all the polish and then swipe just the edges to protect your mani. And you're going to want to go back in and grab just a little bit of top coat and you'll very carefully go over and try to seal absolutely everything. But you don't want a ton of polish. I tend to work pretty slowly with gels because it's important that you don't get anything on your sidewalls. This extends the life of your mani by a lot, and so it's really worth taking the time to do. Alright, so my top coat is on, you can see it's glossy, and now it's time to give it a cure, which means 30 seconds under the LED lamp. Alright, now we are all blue, you can see some of my visible nail line, but I really don't mind. These are all cured. I just need to wipe and then do some photos. So yeah, I am really thrilled with this color, with the base coat, with the top coat. Through the whole process, like I said, I didn't feel any heat spikes, so I'm really fond of this formula. So I will take pictures and those will be in the corresponding blog post. Thank you for joining me today. I really hope that you guys will try Madame Glam if you're looking for a gel polish. Like I said before, they are cruelty-free and vegan and 9-free, so that's pretty sweet. Alright, I will catch you guys in the next video.